right, so I'm here with Mike Faraci from Hit the Red Button. Mike, I actually just finished a session with him. We recorded some content. His team's going to edit it. So kind of, eat your own dog food type thing where,
That's right.
yeah, I just went through the process to be continued on the end product. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what you're doing, because video right now, it's a piece of the puzzle, and it should be a piece
Yes.
of everybody's puzzle.
Yes.
So, we only focus on, the loan officers, branch managers, brokers. Like, can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing out there and what you're doing?
What I'm seeing out there is a bunch of people trying to make video to drive business, especially in mortgage and real estate. But the habit that most salespeople have, especially when getting on camera for the first few times, is falling into their comfort zone, and their comfort zone is selling. And they treat the camera and that video as if they're presenting to a group of people. But at the end of the day, when you're creating video to post for organic reach, your audience is not captive. Like, they're not going to feel bad for taking that phone call in the middle of a sentence or walking out in the middle of your spiel, right? It's one person on their device scrolling, and they will scroll right past you faster than you could ever imagine. So what I'm trying to explain to people is listen, we're not making video just to make video. We're making video for business. And video for business in an industry like ours, where we sell, sure, mortgages are a commodity, but what we're really selling is the service that we give leading up to the securitization of that commodity. So in a services industry, your content can't convert for you. It's just one touch point along the roadmap. So your video shouldn't try to sell or convert people. Your video should start conversations. And that's really it. Like, you provide enough value through your content to become trustworthy enough for somebody to be willing to reach out to you. And then once you start having those conversations, then you can do what you do best. You can sell, you can convert, you can pitch, you can do all those things. But that's not for these initial kind of top of funnel touch points. And what we're doing is helping people quickly, easily, and efficiently create that video for their business so they can post and host it on their websites and use it in one outreach campaigns and all the good stuff. But they're not on their own. They're not just left to kind of do it the best they can on their own. There's coaching involved, the edits are handled, all of that stuff in between, all the stuff that you guys hate doing. I'm one of those weirdos who likes doing it. So it tends to be a complementary relationship.
Yeah. A lot of the people that I talk to that, they could have been in the business for 20 years. So it's not the expertise they don't have. It's the recurring theme that I hear. And a lot of people, I'm gonna look right at the camera, a lot of you, this is what you're saying to me is like, I don't know what to talk about. I get that all the time, and niche is one, but any quick thoughts on that?
The things that you need to talk about are the things that you take for granted all day, every day. You got to realize the basis of education that the people you're trying to reach have is so much lower than you think, because you're in the thick of this all day, every day. Yep. You know how much down payment it takes to buy a house. Everybody in the industry does. But everybody out there has no clue. It was a recent study by NAR, I think. It was in 2022, so still plenty recent, plenty accurate information. 70-something% of the country thought that you needed more than 10% down to buy a house.
Yeah, it's wild. I saw that.
So like, when that's the basis of misinformation that we're really working with, then the things you need to be talking about are not how bank statement income is calculated for self-employed borrowers. The things you need to be talking about are not like DTI calculations and how a lender qualifies you. It's, hey, if you can afford a housing payment, the down payment isn't holding you back as much as you think. Reach out, and I'd love to talk more about this with you. Yeah. Like, again, just starting the conversation, addressing people's pain points, the thoughts and misinformation that they have that they feel is holding them back in their kind of path to home ownership. And then just letting them know that there is a solution, there is an avenue, I can teach you more about it. Let's have this conversation.
You don't think people want to hear about TTI calculations?
If you want people to scroll past your videos and not watch them, just start doing math. That's all you got to do.
That's great. Well, explain. So if I'm somebody like that's considering getting more video, like what's the process like with you? Like how, like,
yeah. So with
just a little walkthrough.
Yeah, our kind of cornerstone product is called guided content creation. And the way it works is that you get a full month of video content in 1 hour of your time.
That is super, I don't want to cut you off, but that is super important because the world, the biggest excuse I get from all of you is I don't have time. I hear that, and I make that myself. That's a huge one.
That's right. So the program is built around getting you on a consistent posting schedule, and consistent doesn't necessarily mean every day. So don't get overwhelmed here.
Yeah.
We have 2 core plans on this. It's 8 videos a month and 12 videos a month. So it gets you on like a twice a week or 3 times a week posting schedule, because make no bones about it, you shouldn't be talking about business all the time in your content.
Yeah.
You just shouldn't. You got to let your personality shine through sometimes. You got to post some personal content once in a while, because if all you do is talk about mortgage, how often do people refinance? Every 5 to 7 years, something like that. If all you do is talk about mortgage and real estate, they only have a reason to pay attention to you every 5 to 7 years. That's not what we want. We want you to be the star of your online presence, obviously, but in your video for business that tries to educate and start conversations with potential referral partners, recruits, and clients, that's the stuff that we focus on. And you'll hop onto a 1 hour long recording session it's basically a glorified Zoom through a different program that records in higher quality, but we coach you through making all of your content. We help you ideate on topics with you. Anthony, you can speak to this. We just went through this process with you. How did that go?
It went great. And I do a decent amount of video for our ads and for content, and it's still, you still get hung up. So actually having you there was helpful, because, I started doing a little bit of a motor mouth, just run on sentence. We backed up, redid it. Like that whole process is helpful. And then just through the reminder of, like, it's almost like when people are telling the comedians, they say, when you tell a joke, like the best joke have the least amount of fat on it, they say, just all the other stuff. So that was helpful for me. So the process is very comfortable. I appreciated the guidance. And I think, another thing is you can't edit your own essay. You think you have all these thoughts and things you may want to say. So for people that have a lot to say and don't know where to start, like it's just having somebody there to bounce some of the ideas off of was helpful too.
And the thing we did with your first piece, especially, like, it was really good content. It was great value that you were providing. It was just going really long.
Yeah.
So instead of just prompting you and letting you go, we ended up breaking it down into like 3 or 4 little micro parts. And we did a little Q&A session, because I know that through this process, we're not just trying to get one take that's perfect so you can post it. We're shooting for the edit, because after your 1 hour session, when you make your 8, 12 videos, after all those are done, you get to log off, you go back to your day job. We pull down the recording, we cut it up into clips, we put edits on them. We cut out all your breaths and the word gaps and the filler words and the ums and uhs, like all that stuff goes away. And all you do is wait until the next week when you get your pile of fully finished, professionally edited videos ready for you to schedule out for posting over the next month. And that way it's 1 day, it's 1 hour, it's one simple recording session for you, and you have your video for business that actually works for an entire month. And
what about platforms?
What about them? Platforms are great. I love all the platforms.
So I was just going to say, if somebody focuses on, we have clients that focus on TikTok, we have clients that focus on Instagram, some focus on, I guess Facebook is the same as Instagram, but different channels. Like,
that's right. So the platform thing is a conversation that we usually have in an onboarding call. So anybody who signs up with a 6 month or longer commitment, we do an onboarding and strategy call first before we book any recording sessions. And that way we can help ideate and develop some target viewer personas for you, some content pillars, some things like that. So that way we can just kind of prep you with content topics before your recording sessions even happen.
Yeah.
That way you're doing even less work coming up with the ideation and things to talk about and who you're talking to. And along with that is, what platforms are you going to be posting these on? Are these going to be hosted on your website? Are they going to be used in CRM campaigns? Are you going to be doing one-to-one text with them? Do they need to be on TikTok? Are they for LinkedIn? Do they need to be Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, anything under the sun? We want to know how you're planning on using that stuff. So that way the finished videos look the best that they can on those platforms. If your main audience is on Facebook and Instagram, then we're going to make sure that everything is vertical, 16:9, and 90 seconds or less, because that will fit into a reel. If you also want to post them as YouTube Shorts, well, now we got to make sure they're 60 seconds or less, because that's the length limit on YouTube Shorts. If you're only using these for B2B content, and your kind of main digital home, so to speak, is on LinkedIn, then we're probably going to crop them at 4:5, because that shows up a little bit better in the LinkedIn feed. And it's okay if they go 2, 3, 4 minutes now and again, because that platform is a little friendlier to longer form content. So depending on each individual person's use case, we will tailor the content to fit wherever they are hoping to gain eyeballs. That's the whole thing. It's all about going to where the attention of your target viewers are, and we want to make sure that we show up right for that space.
Yeah, no, that's great. You just like blew my mind a little bit with the CRM campaigns. Like, there's a lot of people have these big databases, especially the ones that haven't gotten into social yet.
Yeah,
and there's such an opportunity to personalize that. And if you've been in the business for a long time, you probably have a pretty significant head start. Like, man, CRM campaigns, that's a gem of an idea.
And with video, it's an interesting thing. I was doing some research on that stuff last year, and I found a study that LinkedIn actually had put out about email open and click-through rates when video was and was not included. They were trying to see if video moved the needle. And my favorite stat from that entire study was that they saw a 6% increase in email open rate if they put the word video in the subject line. There was no actual video in the email. There wasn't even a link to one. All they did was put the word video in the subject line, and they saw a bump to open rate. So people are looking for this stuff. People want to see this stuff.
Oh, that's great. Well, I love what you're doing. I think what we're going to do is, maybe at the time the people, and you guys are watching this, I'll already have the final video that they can see, where that ended up, which would be pretty cool. But what is the best way if somebody, and I'm going to put it, I'll put it however they're seeing this, I'm going to put your web address, or if there's a calendar, what's the best way for people to get to you?
Best way to get to me is the website, hittheredbutton.com. That's what we're doing at Red Button Media, trying to help more people hit the red button, make more video. And my digital home, because for my business and myself, I try to network with as many business professionals as possible. I'm on LinkedIn all the time. So find me on LinkedIn, Mike Faraci. Give me a follow, send me a connection request. I'll probably immediately accept it, and we can go from there.
A job seeker should have their own website, because especially in markets like this, there's just so many applications. It's so easy to apply. The ease of applying is almost overwhelming for HR managers, and you have to figure out a way to stand out, period. So if you think of a typical job seeker, it's a one-time event. But if you think of it in the lens of a loan officer, you're essentially a professional job seeker. And what's really unique as a loan officer is that you are not only interviewing and applying for jobs B2C, but you're also applying B2B with referral partners. So as a loan officer, if you have a website and you're more intentional about how you use it, you can use it as a digital sales resume to essentially stand out and start the interview process and enhance your likelihood that you're going to get a call. At this point, you're not really closing for a loan. You're just closing for an opportunity to start further building that relationship. So if you want to know what that would look like for you, you can go on our website, vonkdigital.com. There's ways to book calls. But while you're there, look around, because essentially we've set our website up the same way you should be doing it for you.